Love you, mate. Thank God you're all right. A father's first words to his son after he was found alive off the Indonesian coast. Elliot Foote, Steph Weiss, Will Teagle and Jordan Short, surfers stranded at sea for 36 hours, clinging to their boards after their boat sank in bad weather. This was the moment 3 of them were found.
Yes! Yes! Woo! Elliot!
No, have you got him?
Where's Elliot?
Well, their mate Elliot was found a few hours later, sending this text to his dad, Peter. Hey, Dad, Elliot here. I'm alive. Safe now. Love you. And back safe on the island, this video came next.
Little island, we're going, oh, there's my mates. So there's Steph, Jordy and Will. I'm like, oh, sick. And they're like waving and going, Footo, yeah.
And joining me now is Elliot's very relieved dad, Peter, and Will's sister, Amy. Oh my goodness, guys, so nice to see you, and the fact that there are smiles on your faces. Have you had a drink to celebrate?
Yeah, we have actually, Ali, yeah.
Yeah, well deserved. Hey, look, talk me through the emotions when you found out they were okay.
Well, you know, first Steph's dad rang me in tears. He said, Peter, they found her, you know, we found Steph. And I'm like, oh, unreal, really happy. And then I'm like, hang on, like, who else was there? And then he said, oh, there's 2 other guys. And I'm like, okay, like, which 2? And then, anyway, then I spoke to the boys on the island. They said, Elliot's missing, you know, Elliot's not there. Just the other 3, and, you know, which is fantastic. It means we're on the right track type thing. And, yeah, my son wasn't there. So, yeah, that was gut-wrenching, you know, you can imagine. And then when I saw that video, like, the boat coming up and seeing them, and you hear that voice say, where's Elliot? And they're like, you know, don't have him. You know, yeah, my heart just, oh, you can imagine, just dropped. So, yeah, anyway.
You had an extra 3 hours there, didn't you? You had an extra 3 hours, Peter, where you weren't sure what had happened. Has it been explained to you how it was that Elliot got separated from the rest of the crew?
Yeah, they said, you know, they were just floating there abandoned, and Elliot's decided to, I suppose someone has to do it, Elliot's decided to go for help, to paddle to, I think he saw some land in the distance and thought he'd go and get help. You know, you guys wait here, I'll go get help, because they can't rely on anyone else to really save them. And he's gone and done that, and in the meantime, you know, like 20 hours later, the other 3 were picked up, and then, but they told them where Elliot had gone, and they've gone over there to the island, and Elliot had made it to the island, and so, yeah, it's all good. But at the same time, as in speaking to them, they didn't know that the other boat with their 8 other mates had made it. They thought they were in the same dilemma, so that's terrifying for them. You know, they thought all 12 of them were, like, floating in that sea. And
hey, Amy, for you...
the other boat made it back to the island.
Amy, has this been the worst 36 hours of your life?
Absolutely, yeah. It was just gut-wrenching to get that call from Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad are actually holidaying up in North Queensland, and, you know, got the call from them saying that Will's boat's missing, and it's just been absolutely devastating since then. So up until we heard, obviously we heard that the 3 of them had been found, and that was wonderful. And, you know, hearing that Elliot was separated from them was just devastating all over again, but just so over the moon that they've all been found and they're all well.
I know you've had a chance now to speak to the boys. How are they? I mean, and you know, physically and also mentally.
Yeah, I mean, physically, it seems like Elliot's in a bit more of a bad way. The other 3,
He's fine, though.
Yeah, they're fine physically.
Mentally, they're shot.
Yeah,
you know, they were petrified. They're in a bad way mentally, but they've got their 10 best mates with them. They're in paradise. The boys all they've all, like Will and Elliot have been mates since they were about 6 years old, and you know, they just embrace each other, and they'll get them through there, and it's the best place for them, really. You know, no point bringing them back to Sydney. They're they're in heaven over there, and the boys, they're so close, those guys, they're all like brothers, and they'll just embrace each other and help them out. And, you know, the boys that were on the island, the 8 guys that made it there, you know, they controlled all the ground crews from there, did an amazing job, you know, to put the whole search in place. So they were on that catamaran non-stop, no sleep, searching. You know, they weren't going to leave without their mates. So it was really fantastic. Yeah.
I know the phone connection is pretty sketchy over there because it's a very remote corner of Indonesia. But Amy, have you managed to learn anything about like their ordeal, what happened, and how it was that they were rescued?
Yeah, I mean, I managed to get a FaceTime from Will. It was pretty, the connection pretty sketchy. But I didn't realise until he told me. He said the boat that they were on had sunk in the middle of the night, so it was pitch black, and they grabbed what they could. They all managed to get a surfboard, and they then spent 2 nights in the ocean. He said, you know, they obviously had no idea where they were, what direction they were facing, and by the grace of God, I guess, they managed to paddle in what ended up being the right direction. So, it's just very overwhelming. We still are waiting on more details, but that's what we know for now.
Look, we know there was an Aussie over there in a catamaran. He knows the area pretty well. He kind of had an idea of we should start looking for them, which, you know, we love the ocean, right? It's beautiful. We know it can also be very cruel and it can be unforgiving. If you had the chance to say thank you to that Aussie in that catamaran, what would you say to him?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I believe his name's Grant Richardson. What a legend. You know, what a legend. The boys are saying the guy's a legend. He's just come up and just volunteered his boat and his time. And, God, I don't think he slept either. You know, did a fantastic job. And
he was searching all through the night, and, you know, he nailed where he thought they were. And
Grant, perfect.
went there.
Like, he was so confident. He said, I've checked the currents, tides, I know exactly where they'll be, and set off. And didn't find them that first night in pitch black, but next day, like, he did it exactly like you said. It's just amazing. So, Grant, if you're watching, man, he'll love you. Yeah. What a legend.
Yeah, look, I mean, I feel Australia shares that sentiment. And look, hopefully they're all having a few cold ones over there. They're going to need an early night. And also to you guys, because this has been an ordeal for you. I know you're exhausted. Thank you for talking to us. And you go get an early night too, okay?
Thanks so much,
Thank
Sally.
you. Thanks, Sally.
Yeah, we're just so glad they're found okay. And there's still one crew member who is missing, and we're hoping they'll be found safe soon too.